Okay, so today's topic is all around understanding neurodiversity a little bit more and our own personal traits. So the first thing I want to do is talk about letting go of the labels and letting go of categorizing people. Now, I know that I am talking about neurodiversity here, and I understand that I have given the label and I'm going to use some labels in this. But you will, if you watch a lot of my videos, you will see that I'll say that's my autism or my ADHD. It's kind of like it's a part of me, but it's not me completely. And one of the things that I hear from people who live with autism, especially when they get, or ADHD, and they have a support worker, and one of the biggest things they want with their support worker is somebody that actually sees them, the person, rather than the autism or their disability, for want of another word. So to me, for me personally, the traits that I have that are autistic, the traits that fall under the ADHD banner, are not a disability as such, but they can make my life challenging and complicated at times. And the judgments, because I do get rejection sensitivity, is that I will feel like somebody's judging me and rejecting me because they're frustrated because I'm feeling anxious, and they're like, can't you just calm down? And I'm like, oh, they don't love me anymore because of that. Now, this happens in the workplace as well as in family relationships and things like that. So when we let go of the actual labels and keep labeling people, oh, you're autism level 2 or level 3, or you're Asperger's, or your AUHDH. I had to stop and visualize that one. When we let go of all of this and we come from a place of these are our traits, this is our personality traits, we can then develop the communication strategies that actually work for ourselves and in the workplace. I work with a lot of businesses and business owners, and this includes sole traders that want to understand their people that they're working with a bit more on understanding how to come from a traits-based approach versus a diagnosis-based approach. So let's break that down, why that's a little bit different. We do this in workplace as well to bring out the strengths of the people in the workplace so that people can work to their strengths, because guess what? When people are working to their strengths, they're happier, they are more likely to show up for work, so there's less sick leave, and their productivity increases. All of those three things are amazing for a business to succeed and grow. So let's come back to traits-based approach versus diagnosis-based approach. So the diagnosis is the label, so autism, ADHD, asthma, diabetes, whatever it is. Here's something I'd like you to ask yourself. If you're working with somebody or you have a staff member and they have asthma or diabetes, maybe they have I don't know, they have something that's a little, that's more medical orientated, so to speak, than what's considered disability. Yes, I do roll my eyes at that at the moment because I don't have another word. I don't like that word. I don't like the disability part. Anyway, I digress. Coming back to the point. ADHD brain, start to line up. So if you know someone that has diabetes, asthma, epilepsy, like that is controlled, do you hear them often saying, oh, my diabetes? You don't hear that. If you were to get a handover and you were going to go and work with somebody, or you have a colleague in the workplace and they have asthma, diabetes and something like that, have you noticed that you might treat them differently, or would you treat them the same? And the reason I ask this is because when we come with autism and ADHD, it should be the same approach. That a person has a diagnosis of autism or ADHD just like they have a diagnosis of diabetes, asthma. The difference is that it will show up differently. So if a person is having a low blood sugar level, so a hypoglycemic episode, they're going to be sleepy, and then if you give them some glucose, hopefully you've got it soon enough and they're going to come back around. They might still be tired, but they're going to come back around, they're going to feel a little bit better. If a person is having an asthma attack, their action plan might be to have some Ventolin, for example. So when you give them some Ventolin, hopefully they respond and they don't need to go to hospital and things like that. So when a person has traits of autism or ADHD, if we could treat them as the person that they are, so hi, my name is Jackie, I identify as female, this is who I am, and I absolutely love the beach, and I love music, love my craft, this is who I am, right? So my autism traits require you to follow through on things, because the other way of doing it without saying have autism is if you're late, can you just let me know, because I'm going to be literal, or if somebody shares a joke and you go, I'm really not getting that, I don't kind of understand that, and eventually people look at you a bit weird, right? Why didn't you just get that joke? That was really funny. But because of the autism traits, getting it literal. So you go, oh, right. So the mask on, right? For social settings. ADHD traits of hyperactivity, hyperfocus, going to the worst case scenario. I do that I never used to do it all the time, but I now do it all the time, especially if I'm tired, especially there's other stresses. Worst case scenario, fixate on that, can't let it go. Feel rejected quite easily by people. It just happens. So I have to practice bringing that back, because I'm aware of my traits, because I'm aware of my behaviors. I can actually learn to a degree, come back and say, I'm hyperfixating on that. What's it going to take? We know that we're doing that. We know that we're going to keep coming back to it. So what could I do to break state right now to maybe relax a little bit? And maybe when I go and have fun over there, I'm going to come back and it's going to be better and different. So when you're working with someone that has ADHD or autism traits, if you come from the traits part versus focusing on the diagnosis part, and if you look and say, so tell me about your worst day. I don't want to trigger you. I just would like to know what to maybe expect so I can best support you. And if you're having this really bad day, what is it you would like from me? Even if it's a long list of things, even if you can't think of it all now, just give me something that I can support you so I know you're okay. That's all I want. Just tell me. If you need me to leave, then I can leave. I can go and sit outside so you have quiet space. If you need me to sit quietly and not even look at my phone, but just sit there, if that's going to help you, just tell me that. What is going to help you? And if you come from that place, you're opening up the lines of communication, you're helping to build trust, and the person knows that they're being heard. Because true person-centered support is when you're listening to that person, you're acknowledging that person, and then you're saying, let's see how we can make that happen to the best of our ability without over-promising. You say, great, that's what I know, okay, that's what you need, that's what you're choosing. Let me see what we can do to make that happen if it's possible. If it's possible, we'll work towards it, we'll make it happen. So coming from and knowing a person's traits and your own traits, your own personality, and you can do the the Empower Me personal personality assessment tool. You can do the business one, know your business personality. But by knowing this, you're empowering yourself to live that empowered life. You get to connect with your purpose even more, and you get to enjoy life. So what if we let go of the labels and we come back to the traits of the person and how they best feel supported and safe? Just an idea, just throwing it out there. Love you to keep following and liking for other videos and content.